Officers have had to do this alone without their support, and these dangerous individuals are now no longer victimizing people because of the good work that we do. Hector Bonaparte is a 42-year-old illegal Mexican alien who had previously been convicted of predatory sexual criminal assault against a victim under the age of 13. We have Jarvin Flores Santos, who's a 40-year-old Honduras individual who was arrested back in 2020 the first time for aggravated criminal sexual abuse and attempted criminal sexual abuse of a minor under the age of 13 again. And Waldemar Jabik, a Polish citizen who had been convicted in 2014 for attempted murder and then also aggravated domestic battery. He was convicted of these after he stabbed his own wife and his 19-year-old daughter. It was not the first time that police had been called to his house for domestic disturbance, but he was never held accountable until recently by these federal officers. Don Gay Silas, a 33-year-old illegal alien from Micronesia, has had 3 DUI convictions, and as well as convictions of criminal mischief, of wanton endangerment, and driving without a license. These individuals would still be out on our streets today, committing crimes and attacking people and harming them and hurting our children if Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson had their way, because their choice has been routinely over and over and over again to release these criminals back on the streets. The debate over so-called sanctuary policies has real consequences. It has consequences for our law enforcement officers, but also for the families that live here and the businesses that are just trying to provide for their community. Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson are answering that question every single day of who should be our priority, who should be our responsibility, and over again, they're choosing criminals. In just the last 7 months, ICE has issued over 1,664 detainers in Chicago alone. 1,664 detainers we have lodged against violent criminals, and that is a 106% increase over what was issued during the Biden administration. Unfortunately, Chicago and its leadership has only honored 8% of those. That means every other person, when they're released from paying for the consequences of their crimes, back onto our streets without any notification to individuals or to the families that have been victimized by them. By getting those 8% at least off of the street, the brave men and women of ICE are saving American lives. Yesterday we announced that now our ICE officers are facing a 1,000% increase in assaults against them. And you read about the stories and hear what's happening from coast to coast every day in our national media and in our press. But it's in large part due to the pro-sanctuary state and cities policies and the language of elected bureaucrats and politicians that are reckless with their lives and endangering their families. Every public official should talk about and work to protect people, to keep them safe and American people's lives safe. I want you to look at the contraband that's in front of me. We have right in 20 kilograms of fentanyl that's in front of me on this table. That's enough to kill 10 million people. And here out of this office, this was interdicted just days ago here in Illinois. And because these federal officers have been out on the streets picking up criminals and dangerous individuals, we were able to take this 20 kilograms of fentanyl off the streets and save over 10 million lives. They're also keeping these weapons out of the hands of criminals that would use it to rob and assault and to murder individuals in these communities. Unfortunately, all of the politicians that have spoken out against their efforts, their desire appears to be that they would like to have more of this on their streets. More drugs out there for their kids and families to be victimized. More guns out there committing crimes. That is not the work that we do in ICE. The work that we do is to protect people and make sure that we remove these weapons and drugs off of our streets and hold those criminals accountable who would go forward and continue to use that to harm individuals. I just want to ask you for 3 things today. Number 1, I want to ask you to support your law enforcement officers. Have their backs. Every single individual that's out there that is noisy and attacking them right now is having an effect that's ratcheting up the rhetoric and distorting facts and not allowing the facts to get out of what the work that they're doing every day and what we've done to help victims get some justice for the harms that were perpetuated in their lives. Those of us that appreciate the work of our law enforcement officers, the fact that we're a country that doesn't pick winners and losers. We apply the law, and if we don't like the law, we should be going to Congress to change it. But that is what these law enforcement officers do, is they continue to uphold the law and make sure it applies equally to everybody. Second thing I'd like to ask you to do is stop putting criminals first. Stop making them the number one priority. They are perpetuating harm on American citizens and they need to be held accountable for it. And number three, I would ask that you think about the family members around you, the people you've spent your time with, the American citizens that live next door to you in your community. Start thinking about what kind of a community they want to live in, what your city should look like, what their families deserve, and put them first. Make them the priority because they're the ones who invested in this country, and keep it safe and keep it productive and keep it the best country in the world. We'll never apologize here for protecting the American people, but we're going to continue to arrest dangerous, criminal, illegal aliens. We will defend the homeland. That's what ICE is doing, and I'm so proud to be able to walk with them and to lead with them while they fulfill this mission to really keep United States blessed far into the future. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions that you may have. Yes.
Taxpayer dollars out of campaign to pay for the self-report using the CBP Home app. How many people have actually done that? What's been the return on investment for taxpayers?
Well, actually, the 20 million campaign was to send a message to people that if they were here in this country illegally, that they should go home on their own. If they wait until we arrest them and we have to remove them, they'll never get the chance to come back to the United States. So it wasn't just on the app, it was also encourage them to voluntarily go home. We know thousands and thousands of people have used the app, but we also know that hundreds of thousands of people have left on their own, not utilizing a government program to do so. I've been to, I think, 10 different Central American and South American countries and visited with their presidents, with their foreign ministers, interacted with the Department of State, and over again, I'm hearing that hundreds of thousands of their citizens are coming home voluntarily. They've seen the ads, they've seen the messages on social media that if they go home on their own, they'll get the opportunity to come back to the United States the right way. And so most of these countries as well are setting up programs to welcome their individuals home. They have housing loan programs that they're setting up. They're allowing them to have food assistance for several months. Several of the countries I've recently visited with are training individuals and workers to come home because their economy has a need for those individuals. So sending that message has been extremely helpful in making sure that people know that here we're going to enforce our laws and that there's a right way to come to this country, and you're going to be allowed to do that if you voluntarily leave.
Do you have like current comprehensive numbers, specific numbers?
We can get it for you, but each specific country has given it to us along the way. But I would say we believe over 1 million people have gone home on their own.
Since the CBP Home app?
Since we have started this administration, yes. But we've arrested hundreds of thousands that have gone through our system.